Hi, it's Davina Anderson. So, this is one of my favorite topics to talk about and to discuss. Are we living in a simulation? Is what we are living in right now, is any of this even real? How do we know? Like, what is the truth? Um, I think of myself as being a truth seeker. I'm always looking for answers and what's the truth, what resonates with me. And I got down my own path of spirituality and enlightenment. But sometimes, I mean, you don't ever really know what the real truth is. You can just keep learning and keep absorbing new ideas, and then it's basically whatever resonates with you and whatever you think. Um, so different books that I've read have hinted at certain things. Different authors I've read have also said different things. Different people I've listened to on YouTube. So one book I want to talk about is The Seat of the Soul. This book I discovered from Oprah, actually. Oprah talked about it in some of her speeches, and it talks about, in the introduction, incarnation, and that we're born again and again and again. And I have a different video about deja vu, and that yes, I 100% do believe that I've been here before. And it talks about each time your soul comes to earth, it will have a different personality. It could be man or woman. So the reality is, you have been here before. We've probably lived through every generation, every century. We've had different experiences, and there's some people who remember those experiences. Most of us were given that ability to forget, but some people were actually trained on how to remember, and that would be like going back each day and tracing back what you did the day before the whole day, and you just keep doing it as far back as you can every day, and they learn how to do that. But my biggest question for this video is this a simulation? Is any of this that we're experiencing, is any of it real? And some movies even talk about it too, like the Divergent movies. When they're doing their training, she'll be in a simulation and she's tapping on the glass and she's like, this is not real. And that's how I feel this world is. Everything we're experiencing, I feel like none of this is real. Yes, it feels real. All of this stuff it's real, but it's real to what you perceive it. It's what you make it. It's real because of our five senses, and because we can touch, we can taste, we can hear, we can smell. The movie The Matrix, I've talked about several times too, where they talk about, taking, which pill do you want to take, the red pill or the blue pill? Do you want to stay in that mindset that, yep, this is my game that I'm playing and I'm just going to keep playing my game and I don't want to know the truth? Or are you the person who's going to take, I think it's the blue pill, or the red pill, I forget which pill it is. Do you want to know the truth? And then the truth can sometimes set you free, and then really what's going on. So there are, like I said, like books like this who kind of confirm that yes, we have lived here before. You probably have been every race, gender, ethnicity, and it's really your soul. Your soul will take on different personalities and genders to fulfill its purpose. And this book talks about it. It talks about even your hair color, your eye color, the parents. You choose your parents. And some of the experiences that you're experiencing in your life, if you don't get a handle on them, and if you don't learn what you're supposed to learn, those lessons are going to get louder and louder and louder until you cannot ignore them anymore. So I'd be curious to know what you think, if this is a simulation or not. Another reason I think this is a simulation is because you can even look at the advances in technology, and a lot of the video games, from where they were to where they are now, sometimes you can't even tell a video game when you're playing it if it's real or if it's fake or a simulation because of the advances in technology. You put this headset on and, it's like you're there. So I have a feeling that everything we're living is a simulation, and that we're multi-dimensional beings, and that there's multiple dimensions. Greg Braden that I listen to, he talks about 25 different dimensions. And the one we're in right now is the third dimension, where everything literally feels real. It looks real because of our senses and because of how we perceive it. But our higher self is actually in a different dimension, and we could have our higher self in all of the dimensions all at once. And then he talks about the fourth dimension, there's no time. So there's no concept of time. The fifth dimension they've talked about is manifestation, like instantly, whatever you want is instant manifestation. Some of the people I've listened to, they say, some of us spirits and higher beings, they say in the fifth dimension, some of us get bored because you have everything there and now, but it's like complete bliss. So some are not aware that they're bored, but others, they come back to the third dimension because you have to have participation in all of them. But some really like it here in the third because this is where you have problems and you have to overcome challenges and you're faced with situations and adversity, and it's like you came here to create, and it's like, can you do what you set out to do despite everything that you have to go through and overcome? So a lot of people will say the third, where we're at right now, is where it's at. So really interesting things that I'm learning and diving into, but I really enjoy it. I really love opening up my conscious level of awareness. That's the next book I'm going to talk about, is The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, in my next video. So I would love just any feedback, comments in the chat. What do you guys think? Do you think we're living in a simulation? Do you think any of this is real? What are your thoughts and views? I would love to hear from you. With love and gratitude, Davina.